If you're feeling stuck in a rut financially, you don't know what to do, you're just sick and tired of being broke, obviously what you're doing is not working and you need to make some changes in your life. Some of them are big, some of them are small, and some of them are just in your mind. And these are some of those changes that I made that turned my finances completely around. First of all, you don't have bad luck. This is something that I used to feel when I had no money and be like, yeah, with my luck, we're gonna miss this. With my luck, I'm not gonna get that job. With my luck, whatever. And you gotta get out of that mindset because you are incredibly lucky. You have access to the internet. You're somehow watching this video. You probably have a roof over your head. You have access to clean water. You're probably not starving to death. You're incredibly lucky. So the first thing is changing your mindset from rich people just got lucky. That person who's successful and built their own business or reached financial independence, they were just lucky, and realize that luck is created by putting yourself in a position to get lucky. It's putting in a lot of work, putting yourself out there, and that's when opportunities come. When you're putting things out there, when you're trying things, there's not just gonna happen if you keep doing what you're doing, you stay in your little box, you keep going to work, doing your same things. You're not gonna get a big break if you're not like just trying different things. However, if you do wanna get out of this, it's gonna suck because you can't keep doing what you've been doing. It's clearly not working. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. If you're not on your way to retiring with a comfortable amount of money, if you don't have an emergency fund, if you're in debt, if your spending's out of control, unless you make big life changes, your finances will not get better. If you keep doing what everybody else does, you're gonna get what everybody else gets. I think Dave Ramsey said that. In fact, if you do want to make a change, you're going to have to sacrifice things that you probably enjoy. You might have to sacrifice your weekends, you might have to sacrifice video games, you might have to sacrifice some time with your kids or travel, you might have to sacrifice going out to dinner, that blowing off steam after a hard day's work. In order to make more money, to change your situation, to gain skills, you're gonna actually have to make sacrifices for the short term in order for the rest of your life to be way better than it is right now. It's gonna have to suck for a little bit. But before you even get into that, you gotta make the cut. What is the cut? Pride has to go out the window right now, and you have to just stop spending money. This is the fastest way to change your finances. Like right now, if you go in your closet, you probably have enough clothes to live for the next couple of years probably without buying almost anything. You stop going out to dinner altogether. I had 2 years where I probably went out to dinner maybe 5 times, and probably a couple of those other people paid for. You need to be okay with driving an older beater car. I used to drive a cheap Honda Civic. You gotta lower your housing somehow by maybe moving back in with your parents, getting a roommate, moving to a cheaper part of town. That's a huge thing. That's not just something you do. That's a big life choice that you have to make. But your housing is generally your biggest expense. So if you want to actually start saving money, you're gonna have to sacrifice in these big categories where a lot of your budget is going. And for these couple of years, this might feel embarrassing. It might not be like all that fun because you're probably not going out and spending money having fun. You can do a ton of stuff for free that is fun, but you're not like spending money to have fun. By the way, we're giving away $1,000 to someone who subscribes before we hit 500,000 subscribers. So if you want to be in on that, don't forget to subscribe. For me, I honestly enjoyed this whole process because I gamified it. I was living in a small apartment while fixing it up, while working 3 different jobs, never going out to dinner, buying my food at like bulk discount food places. And while it might not have been as fun as going on vacations and buying whatever I want, it completely changed my life. But unfortunately, saving money isn't really enough. We have to earn more. Well, cutting down expenses is the fastest way to make a change. Earning more is where real progress is made. And this is where a lot of sacrifice comes in. I had a full-time job. I had 2 part-time jobs while renovating an apartment, which I had no experience doing. So I was like watching YouTube videos on how to do that. And then I also started my YouTube channel on top of all those things. So it's like literally wake up, start working, and then don't stop working till like you go to bed and you're exhausted. And it takes that amount of kind of sucking and sacrificing a lot of things in order to build up an emergency fund and then build up enough money so that I could start investing, and then doing the same thing and investing more and buying another rental, all while making like under the median income. But because I was working so many different jobs, I was able to actually live off of one income and then save everything from all the other ones. It's also important during this time to work on skills that are higher value. You might have one job where you're earning $20 an hour, you get home at 5 o'clock. Well, now's the time to take a couple hours and study a skill that will make you $50 or $100 an hour, because there's millions of people making way more than whatever you make, like literally. And the only difference between them and you is knowledge. So we need to spend time learning high value skills, and then eventually we can go from working all these different things to having one thing that you spend less time doing and you earn twice as much as you were before, which is eventually what happened to me. But that comes with sacrificing the nights and weekends, learning skills that are actually of high value. For me, this involved reading over 100 books inside of 2 years, listening to Audible, podcasts, YouTube videos, taking courses, going to seminars, studying different things. I tried becoming a real estate agent. I ended up learning some things that helped me invest in real estate, starting YouTube channels, starting other small businesses, and eventually building up skills that were actually worth something to people, because before that I had no skills, so I didn't deserve to make a lot of money because I didn't offer people anything. So like if your skills right now are worth $30,000 or $40,000 a year, then you need to like upgrade those skills. You can use something like a partner of mine, Course Careers, where for not a lot of money, you can take classes and learn skills for careers that could pay you $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 without spending years in college. And that's really one of the best investments you can make, is if you can invest a couple $100 to learn a skill that will raise your income by $10,000 a year. That's like the best investment you can make, which is why I partnered with Course Careers. I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to check them out. I also would go on a bit of a diet, and I call this like the low information diet. I learned this from the 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss. And it's just like we spend all this time on TikTok, Instagram, reading the news, whatever like your thing is where you're spending that time. If you just cut all of that worthless stuff out that adds nothing to your life, and you fill it with maybe a couple hours of reading a book or a couple more hours of work and going to the gym and taking care of your health and earning money, that will be a huge transformation, because input determines output. So being really conscious of what you're letting into your head, and if you're just focusing on only absorbing like financial content, understanding finances, if you read 50 books on real estate, you're probably gonna get excited enough that you're gonna buy a rental property. Same thing with different types of investing, starting a business, getting a higher paid job. It all comes down to what you're putting inside your mind. And this should only be for like 3 to 5 years, depending on if you have debt or not. You can go from completely broke to having amazing finances for the rest of your life by just sacrificing and living this type of lifestyle for 3 to 5 years. It's nothing crazy. You can still enjoy your time, but on the other end of this, you'll be financially literate. You'll have a job that pays way more than you have now, that's fun. You'll be able to treat yourself, go on the vacations, buy the things you want to buy without having to stress about it, without being worried about it. You'll be more confident. You'll have time and money so that you can be more healthy. It's delayed gratification. It's sacrificing for these things now will change the rest of your life forever.